Alright, a little Dimitri action. What? You guys are back? Wait, is that right? What? I'm back and ready to draw with you guys. It's supposed to be a graceful glide across the screen, like Morrigan. Alright, which one's next? The wolf. How do we do that? Ooh! Ooh! Let's get right into it.
So, I was gonna apologize for the bad rendition of the Darkstalkers intro, but yeah, no way, buddy. You best be damn welcome for that snazzy intro. Howdy guys, today we are back with another character drawing. That's right, we're drawing the succubus herself, Morrigan from Darkstalkers. So let's go ahead and open up a new document and fill in the background with neutral color. For this one, I had already reached fairly far into the sketching process. I had drawn most of the body and currently was working on finishing up the bat wings. Along with that, I was still trying to figure out what her outfit would be. I knew it had to be sexy, but I didn't want it to be over the top. So I wound up settling on a leotard with some leggings underneath, with a little bit of furry trim. So a bit of a confession, for a long time there, I really didn't know that Morrigan was from a Darkstalkers game. I didn't know Darkstalkers existed. I knew that she was from a Capcom game and I figured that it was Street Fighters. I figured I just missed a game. But when I thought of her, I remembered seeing her next to Street Fighter characters. But of course I did, but the game that I was thinking of wasn't Street Fighter. It was a game you've probably guessed by now.
Marvel vs. Capcom!
And she wasn't the only character. Marvel vs. Capcom introduced me to a whole range of characters I had never even heard of before, and it grew my love for the ones I already did know. But yeah, I remember going into arcades and watching skilled players just knock the shit out of novice players. A single coin could take them very far. I personally wasn't that great and was a bit of a button masher, but I always fancied myself a Spidey head myself. You might have noticed that I did a bit of warping around the chest area just to flare out some of the feathery bits and give them a little bit more volume. This is an easy cheat for when you need to loosely adjust the shape of something. In Photoshop it's the liquify filter, and in Krita it's under the transform tool, and you just need to click the droplet button. As you can see, I added a new color layer and added some basic color info. I like to keep my colors in the mid-range. Something you might notice is that for the white of the eyes I don't use a white color. I very purposely use a gray color. This was something that I learned the hard way but was reinforced by many artists doing it. And for a reason too. You can make your highlights stand out substantially better when you choose your base colors away from the extremes. So do your best to keep away from black and white. It's hard to go anywhere when your highlights or shadows start there. By starting with the mid-tone, you can start adding shadows and highlights on top of this and shape them to your piece, and really make things pop out. Generally for shadows and highlights, I like to keep them set to overlay or soft light. For the lips, I like to choose a color slightly darker and pinker than the skin tone. For regular lips, this helps it stand out without feeling like makeup. Additionally, when drawing people, I like to add a red layer to help give another layer of depth to the character. When selecting where to paint, I like concentrating where you have the most blood. Look at a reference or even look at your reflection, you can see where you get most flush. As a general rule of thumb, for the face, paint in the nose, ears, forehead, and cheeks. For the body, paint in the chest, shoulders, thighs, butt, fingers, and toes. Basically, you're looking at the extremities, the parts of the body that stick out the most. For me, I just think of the body parts that get the coldest fastest. As a dramatic flair, I like adding a very light grading emanating from the bottom of the screen to the top of the frame. Believe it or not, it takes me a while to draw hair. In general, hair is probably one of my weakest points. I find it very hard to figure out how it's going to come out. It takes me way longer than I'd like to admit, but I do generally end up getting it to a point that I like. As you can see, when I do a composition where there's lighting from the side, I like to add a rim of white light on the edge of my character. To do this, I like recoloring the line layer with a white brush from the direction of the light source. Additionally, I like adding a highlight layer set to overlay or even vivid light to help bump up the lighting. As a final step to the lighting, I like adding some specular light, this being the shiniest and brightest light of your piece. What this does is it helps pop everything out and really gives life to your character. To do this, I create a layer above all my other layers and select the white brush. Here I begin painting in the brightest points in my drawing. These include select parts like the eyes, the nose, the shoulders, and parts of the body that stand out the most. In this case, this includes the chest, the butte, and the wings. Now this is where you can probably stop, but I personally like adding one last finishing touch to the whole thing. Selecting a rather large soft brush, choose the white color, softly draw over the rim light where we just painted in. Adjust the layer opacity to make sure it doesn't stand out too much, And just like that, we're done. Honestly, this is one of my favorite things that I've drawn. Not only does Morrigan look stunning, but I love the way I created lighting and colors for her. I think she looks elegant but spooky and, you know, just Morrigan. I really hope you guys enjoyed drawing with me today. If you'd like to see me draw more, please leave a comment with anything you'd like to see me draw. And if you'd like to see more of what I'm doing, follow me on my social media accounts. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. This is where I generally post most of my content. There you can check out anything that I've done before or I'm currently working on. Also, if you'd like to purchase any of my work, you can check it out on redbubble.com. There you can find designs that you can purchase to help support my channel. Anyways, I really enjoyed drawing with you guys. Catch you on the flip side.